Be real though. So one, we gotta give Kyle Shanahan and the front office a little bit of props. And the reason
Go
why I
for it.
say it is they sent him to a situation where one, they don't know if they're gonna keep Dak Prescott next year. So he has a year to learn this offense. And if Dak isn't there, he instantly is between him and Cooper Rush if they don't get like a first round to get Caleb. So they did set him up to kind of win in a way. They sent him to a team with a good line. So like they have good skill players, but I think the Niners skill players are better. But I think CD is a better receiver than the likes of Debo just off of route running. But they also set him up to be with a good line and a Hall of Fame. I say Hall of Fame play caller, which would be their head coach. So I
Yeah.
think they set
At
him
least a
up to
Super
be.
Bowl winning play caller.
Yeah, definitely was.
Yeah.
So they set him up to be in a similar situation, and they didn't set him up to fail. They could have sent him. And after that preseason game, I have a cousin on the team.
Right.
I'm not gonna say no names because I don't want
Sure,
nothing
sure.
I say to fall back.
For
But
sure, for sure.
after that preseason game, it was it was a lot of hype in the league off of some of those throws that he put on tape. Like it's a
Mhm.
few throws. The one the what was it? I think it was a crosser going to Willie Snead, tight
Yep.
window on the body.
Yep.
So I mean, it made a lot of people like kind of look like, ooh, wait, hold on, I see the talent that
Yep.
he could have.
Yep.
So I think you have to give them a pat on the back for helping him out in that way because they really could
Mhm.
have screwed him over and sent him somewhere like the Buccaneers, and that would have been horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a
But
good
I
point.
think,
Like they could have sent him somewhere where they would have thrown him in the fire and he would have struggled. Instead, they sent him to a good organization where they can be patient and he can actually play well at some point. That's a good
so
point.
I mean, to
Yeah.
their point, they do really love him as a person,
Yeah.
and you could tell that by the way that they took care of him in the sense of them sending him to a situation where he could thrive. Personally, I would have wanted him to go into like the Broncos or waited towards the middle of the season to see if Miami would have needed a quarterback and he could have went somewhere where he had
He could play.
uh, uh, on film like elite play caller that we've seen recently. But this
Good
is
point.
still a good situation nonetheless. The other
Yeah.
thing is I kind of feel like these are there's a little bit of a Nick Bosa situation. I feel like they needed money on the back end next year, and I kind of feel like Nick Bosa was kind of running their pockets just a little bit to where they was like, hold on, we might need just a little bit more cap space to go and wiggle and play with him, and
Oh.
that might have been part of the reason, and it kind of scares me because it's like, well, if he isn't signed yet, are we going to have him by the week one? And if he comes back by week one, is he going to be up and running and ready to do what he has to do by week one? Because it's a flow game, so you have to be in flow.
So you're saying part of the reason the Niners traded Trey Lance is because they couldn't necessarily afford him next year with Bosa on the
Well,
books.
it's not even just him. Like it's a lot of people that are coming down the pipe. Like next year is going to
Ayuk,
be
Ayuk,
I
Ayuk,
haven't even looked at it. Next year is going to be a few
Ayuk,
people that they're going to need some cap space to make sure
Ayuk.
that they can make something shake.
All right.
And to have him as your
Yeah.
third, your second string, which I don't think he was a
Yeah.
third, but your second string, your third string,
Yeah.
and to be making, I think what they said was like around 7 on the cap firm next year or something like that.
Yep.
I mean, that's a
Yep.
lot of money just to have a young guy, just sitting
Yep.
around. So I think that's part of the reason why he was gone. But my biggest issue with this, and I don't think people were really looking at this from like the grand scale of things, is if it doesn't work with Brock Purdy, and if Kirk Cousins doesn't come here next year, Brock Purdy doesn't succeed, and get us to the playoffs or whatever the case may be, all what ifs. What young quarterback and what agent is going to want to come here after seeing what happened to a person you traded 3 first-round picks to
Yeah. Who
go to
wants to be the
go and
next Trey
do?
Lance? Who
Yeah,
wants to
like
be the next
who
Trey
is going to
Lance?
come to this situation? I
Yeah.
personally, I wouldn't want to come to a situation where I just seen you mortgage your future, which I mean they're all late round picks, but in hindsight we know that they're all late round. But I seen you mortgage your future,
Yeah.
and I didn't get to see you fully develop a kid, and then y'all get ready to move off of him, and the news comes out that last year they were ready to ship him off. So how do you convince these younger quarterbacks to come to
We
your
have your best interest at
organization?
heart. We'll take care
Yeah,
of you.
like for instance, let's say a Joe Burrow just comes out. I think Caleb Williams is going to be good. I don't think we're going to be able to draft him that low. But let's just say somebody with a Joe Burrow esque ability comes into the draft 2-3 years from now. These quarterbacks nowadays, shoot, Eli did it, but these quarterbacks nowadays are more business savvy, more social savvy, like so they understand things at a higher level. So now they're gonna look at this like, oh wait, hold on, I kind of got the leverage. I can just tell them I'm not gonna sign. They can pick me up if they want to, but I don't have to play for them if I don't want to. So
Yep.
you kind of mess up what you could do later down the road if your quarterback situation doesn't
That's right.
succeed this year.
That's right.
Which segues into the next thing that I wanted to say was like, I also feel like the front office did Brock no justice because now you kind of put him in with the fans too. You put him in a role where it's like we have to win the Super Bowl, or
Yeah.
they said Super Bowl or bust year, so it's like you have to win the Super Bowl with him with a worse line, with 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 more commotion around him, with more distractions, which I mean Trey was, so they got him out of here. But it hurts him this
does.
year because let's say he has a 2-game stretch where he's just looking horrible. You still have Sam breathing behind his back because y'all think high on Sam. So I
Yep.
mean, it's just like y'all put so much unfair pressure
Pressure
on
on
this
all your
dude.
quarterbacks, all of the quarterbacks. They
And he's
always do
only
it.
23. He's
Yep.
second year playing. This is going
Yep.
week 1 will be his 8th game in the league.
Yep.
So it's
Not
like,
fair.
bro, you guys put so much pressure on this kid
Yeah.
to win a Super Bowl in his 8th start in his
Yeah.
second. Well, it would be his
Year.
second full
Yeah.
year starting, or first full year starting. Like that's a lot of pressure to put on the kid. Yes, you can scheme things open. We're always top 5 when it comes to wide open throws in the league, but you guys are really hurting this kid because now he's going to if the pressure comes on, he's going to have to play perfect and spot on, and he's not going to be allowed to make a gang of mistakes, especially early in the season, because this is a brand new defense. It takes time to learn it. It takes time to understand your coverages, your assignments. You know, like you just I don't know. You put in franchise quarterback expectations on somebody who's still very very fresh to the league, and
Yeah.
that's unfair,
And the Niners
man.
don't realize it. Good call, man. Thanks for calling in. That was great.
Always,
Good
brother.
stuff, dude.